Hey, welcome to TheRoadSMITHS, everybody. If you're new here, I'm Ken.
And I'm Pam.
And we're really excited to be back with another collaboration video. It's been a while since we've done a collaboration video with this group.
Yeah, actually, that was October when we did What Scares You About RVing. Check the link out below and watch it if you haven't already done so.
Yeah, but this month is about spring, because we're in spring. And so how do you get your rig ready for spring? Whether you're a full-timer, most-timer, or whether you are a part-timer and you've got your rig in storage, we're going to point out some things that really need to be checked before you hit the road for your spring trips. Now, the other collaborators in this video are Dustin and Leslie from Wayward Wags, Jerry and Teresa from Happy Place Diaries, and Natalie and Lawrence from Brazen Brits. But wait, there's more.
From this collaboration on, we have a new couple joining us, and that is Chris and Katrina from Our Everyday Getaway. But to make things even better, this month we have special guest Joel and Tanya from This Is Our Adventure.
Yeah, so we hope you guys enjoy the video. We hope you pick up some of the tips, but you know, for certain, go check out the other videos as well, because everybody has a different perspective and you might learn from something that as well.
What I want to show you is not necessarily a once a year thing. In fact, it's probably more like a once every couple of weeks thing, especially when you're using the AC. But that would be to clean the filters on these air conditioning units. And these air conditioners are very easy to clean the filter on. And I'm actually going to just take all of these down. First, I'll vacuum. It seems like the bedroom always gets the most dusty, probably because of all the linens and things like that. But we'll take these out, and I'm going to just clean with a rag all up in here, get this dust out. And I'll be honest, when I clean these just every few weeks, when they're needing to be cleaned, I usually will just take the cover off and vacuum. So I'm going to take these and wash them really good with soap and water and come back and show you what to do. Now that I've washed these and these have had time to dry really good, I'm just going to reinstall it all.
In our Alliance, we have two MaxxAir fans. Now, we have covers on the lids on the top, but one of the things that's important is to make sure that you clean several things in this. And you've got a screen, and you've got a fan, and then you've got actually the lid itself. Now, you can get access to some of that from the roof by taking the MaxxAir fan cover off, or you can get access to it from here, and it's actually a little bit easier because you need to take that fan off as well. So what you're going to do to take the screen off is you've got a couple of these little you know, knobs here that you've got to get, and these have to go in the right actual direction. Then you'll get that off. We're going to clean that good. Again, this is not something that is just done once a year, but certainly when you get ready to go, it's important to keep that clean. And what's really important too is to keep this fan clean. Now, a couple things you can do. You can get to some of it from here, but it really is more important and better really to take this off. So we're going to get an Allen wrench. We're going to get up here and take this particular one off. So that comes off. So what we're going to do is we're going to get that fan all cleaned up as well. Open up the cover so that comes up, and that's going to give you the ability to get up there and clean all is up here. We're going to be able to clean the spindle, we're going to be able to clean the arms, and we're going to actually do a little bit of lubrication. We're going to use this on some of the key points, on the arms that fold in and out, and a little bit on the spindle here. And so Pam will go ahead and clean the filter and the fan itself, and then we'll get that all put back together. But that's really important to kind of keep that clean and grime. We get a lot of stuff in there because even though it's got a cover, it does get you know, exposed to, you know, wind and moisture and those kinds of things. All right, now we've got the fan cleaned. We're going to get this put back up here, and you'll notice that on the stem there is a flat part, and that's where the set screw is going to go up onto. So you want to do is line that set screw up on here and get that put back up here. Now when you tighten this down, like anything else, you want to make sure that it's snug, but you don't want to over tighten it. So we'll get that good and tight here. Because the last thing you want to have happen is for this thing to come crashing down when you're sitting on a throne. That's not going to be very comfortable. So we got that back on there, and we'll turn the fan on. Make sure it spins. That's good. We'll close it up. shut it off because you don't want to get your fingers up there, obviously. And now we'll put the screen back on. And again, the screen is a little tricky. You've got to get these stems lined up with the round part in this slot there. So we'll get that put back up and we'll go on to the next thing.
Because our RV has 3 AC units, one thing we want to do before we head out for the season is check and make sure our air conditioners and our heating systems are working properly. So we cycle through each of the AC units and also the heat and make sure that they are working properly, because we know how important those are. Another thing, I know Ken's already talked about the anode rod in the hot water heater, but we do want to make sure, we are on electric right now, but we always want to make sure that not only does the electric work, but also that the gas works.
No, I know your first thought is I'm hiding from Pam down here, but I'm really not. This is something that you do have to go down and check, and really more often than just in your first initial trip in the spring, definitely through the year. But when the rig has been stored for a while, it's important to check a number of things down here. So first we're going to talk about the suspension. So we have a MORryde CRE 3000 equalizer. So it's important to make sure that the wet bolts are properly lubricated. You want to check for tire wear. Make sure that there's no uneven tire wear. Obviously, tire pressure is an important thing as well, and that you do check. We check it every time we get ready to leave the campground. Another thing you want to do is these are hydraulic slides on these two sides. We have opposing slides in the kitchen and the living area, and so on the hydraulic gearboxes and the hydraulic arm, you want to make sure they're properly cleaned and lubricated. We clean this off occasionally and just get any of the grime off of here, and make sure there's nothing impeding the teeth, of course. And then what I do is we use this RV Care slide out silicone lube, and so it's more of a dry lube, and we want to make sure that we get the teeth lubricated. Again, get all that grime and dirt off of there, and then just give that a good spray all across the gear arm and make sure that's properly lubricated. And then what you want to do is you want to get and wipe that down again, so you're not having just excess amount on there. And then what you want to do is you want to run your slides in a couple times just to get that lubrication spread out to not only the teeth, but the gears that are inside as well. You saw that our two larger slides are hydraulic, or our bedroom slide is a Schwintek slide. So this takes a little bit different care. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you get these rails all clean, wiped down, make sure there's no debris. They do gather a lot of dust because they are exposed to the elements when the slide is out. Make sure there's nothing impinging in the teeth themselves. And then what you want to do is you want to get that same lubrication that we used underneath, which is the 3-in-1 dry lubrication. And you're going to see under here on the bottom side there's rollers, and that's going to basically allow the Schwintek gear strip itself to ride on top of that. So you want to make sure you get a little lubrication in there, just a little bit on that and on the top side as well. And then same thing applies. Once you get all those 4 done, run the slide in and out a couple times. Just make sure you get that lubrication all distributed. So while we're on the outside of the rig, a number of things you really should check is things like caulking around seals, baggage doors and whatnot. Obviously that caulking is going to keep water from intruding in there. The sun does have a habit of making that brittle, and so we've had our rig for about 3 years now, and we've got some spots that really have to be touched up and some spots that have been touched up before. Another thing are the slide seals themselves. Now, I just went ahead and lubricated these a couple days ago, but it's important to keep those clean and lubricated and supple to make sure that as the slides go in and out, that they fold in the right direction and they keep water out of the inside of the rig. Getting up on the roof is really important as well. Now, we did this in the summertime where we got up and actually cleaned the fins of the air conditioning, and while we were up there, since we have 2 solar panels, we cleaned the panels on top of the roof as well. So again, a lot of things to check on the outside. Visual inspection is important, but those are things that should be kept up not only for spring, but also throughout the year as well. In the summertime, we get up on the roof and we took all the air conditioning covers apart and we checked the cooling fins. We cleaned those, straightened any ones that were a little bit bent. And while we're up there, we actually cleaned off the solar panels as well. So that's something I would recommend doing every spring. Of course, everybody likes hot water, so making sure that we maintain our hot water heater is really, really important. Typically, when people put their rig up in the fall, they will take out the anode rod, clean out the inside of the hot water heater, and they may or may not replace the anode rod, but definitely check that, and that's something that we will do occasionally through the year as well. I mean, they tend to last a good long time, maybe about a year or so. Really depends on the water content of the places that you've been, but certainly in the spring, you're going to have that out anyway. Double check that anode rod and replace it as necessary. Well, those are really important things to check before you leave for spring. Another thing you need to check is check your inventory. Check for inventory of tools, of screws, of hardware, of things that you need to repair stuff. But another thing you need to take inventory of is this.
Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate your support. And don't forget to like this video if you did, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And also, most importantly, leave us a comment. Let us know if there's something that we did not cover that perhaps you do on your checklist each year, and we need to add it to ours. And finally, make sure to go and watch each of the collaborators' videos that we've listed below the links, and find out what they do each spring when it's time to hit the road.
Yeah, you may pick up some important tips from them as well. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.